What's up, guys, and welcome to this video on double hero charge. Today we are going to do commentary over my attacks. As you can see, I had a pretty good Legends day today, and we will be going over all of the hits, including mistakes and fails, so hopefully you can learn from it. Now, the army I'm using is my original version with super minions. The only change I made is I added a couple wizards to help with cleanup. So this is the first base of the day. It's a corner town hall base, which is very common in Legend League. And on this base, I want to queen charge the town hall. Now, before I do that, though, because we have two recalls, I want to set up a flame flinger. So right here, I deploy my queen for the monolith. Yep, I also check for like traps and Teslas. I drop my flame flinger so you get great value. And the next thing I do is I queen charge the town hall. What I like to do is I like to open both sides of the compartment, set an ice golem in one one hole in the wall and the queen in another, just to make sure that the logs don't hit my queen or healers. Now, a bit unfortunate here, the logger targets my queen, so I use an invis spell just to be safe. Queen is working. Now here I make a huge mistake. I drop my warden way too early. As you can see, my queen is actually on the green arrow. Now the green arrow is a level 3 arrow of the monolith arrow, and we, me and a friend, we did the math, and we basically concluded that the blue arrow is fine for queen charge, but the green arrow is awful. You never want a queen charge with the green arrow if you can help it. So unfortunately, we had to use like 1 or 2 extra spells on the queen just because we had the green arrow. Now here, I also lose my queen because of the sweepers. I miss my recall, and this is going to bite me in the back later on. So in terms of fireball, I'm looking at a fireball onto the, the core, maybe the multi-inferno, maybe the builder hut, maybe the rage tower. I'm not really sure yet. But we only have 3 invisibilities, so, we have to kind of make do with what we have. So the Tesla farm popped up, which is going to delay my warden for quite a bit. Now I'm thinking about where I want to drop my Dragon Duke. I'm still running the Flame Blower. I think it's the best combination in this army. Now I want to Flame Blower the clan castle, right? And so I'm just using my super minions to clear out the building so I get a good path. And Dragon Duke now. Flame Blower the clan castle, and around now I want to launch my fireball, right? So I'm just waiting. I think I almost lose my warden here. Now I'm down to 2 invisibility spells, not great. I think at this point I just want to get my fireball off, so I invis that, fireball the core. Unfortunately, I don't get the revenge tower. Dragon Duke dies, Skellies pop, and I think now I'm just waiting to see what happens, right? I did everything I could. I used my king spiky ball, and I think I should fast forward the attack and see if we triple. We're waiting. And yeah, there's not much I can do. We're just waiting for the end of the attack. And unfortunately, I don't get this, but because I lost my queen. On this base, I am looking at the clan castle area. I think a fireball onto here would be great. But the issue I have is that the warden walk afterwards is a bit sketchy, because I'd be warden walking into a rage tower, which is kind of scary. So instead, what I decide to do is I decide to queen charge a rage tower. So this is something you can do with this army, is you queen charge a rage tower. So Ice Golem first, Queen behind, Kokoloon, and I'm putting a Flame Flinger down to get the rest of the Rage Tower. I think I recall my Queen, yep. And then I decide to put my Queen down here because I just noticed that it's a really good value for the Queen charge, right? There's not too much damage. I don't have to really worry about her. I'm getting good value. I'm getting a good funnel. Like, it's just a easy and safe place to send my queen. Okay, you need an invis spell for all of this damage. And now I'm like, the queen's walking left. Maybe she'll get the logger. I'm not really sure. I drop a wall breaker. I just want to see, maybe she gets a logger, maybe she doesn't. If she doesn't, it's also fine. Now the fire spitters are hitting my healers, so I'm thinking about recalling, but I think fortunately the healers step out of the fire spitter range. Flame Flinger's still working on the top side. And I think now I'm like, where do I fireball, right? Because the Flame Flinger is getting that Rage Tower. The Clan Castle, there's not many defenses next to it, so it's not worth it as much. So I decide to fireball the Rage Tower, right? 2 invisibility spells, clean fireball, Queen is still walking. And I think at this point, a lot of people are like, okay, up until this point, the attack's pretty easy, but what do you do to finish the rest of the base, right? Where do you drop your king? Where do you drop the Dragon Duke? And so my thought process was the Clan Castle is still up, and I have the Flame Blower. So I want to Dragon Duke the Flame Blower, the Clan Castle. And so I do that, and then I put my Queen on the right side to funnel my Dragon Duke. Hopefully he goes in and gets the Logger. And then for the King, I ended up dropping him on the left side, because if I dropped him on the right side, I was worried that he would pull my Warden. And if the Warden gets pulled, he's basically useless. So I drop my King on the left side, use a spell for the Revenge Tower, make sure he doesn't pop his ability early. And then I pop the Spiky Ball. I think I get everything, and it's a pretty comfortable triple. Yeah, I think the Logger doesn't even die on this attack. Thank God for the fast forward option. Okay, let's move on to base 3. So the third base is a Rage Invisibility base, and on this base I wanted to fireball that Ricochet Cannon on the right side to get the Clan Castle. And for the Queen charge, I think I go in behind one of the Fire Spitters, because it's a very easy Queen walk there, and maybe I get the Logger, maybe not, but I just think it's a good place to start the Queen walk. So Wall Breaker in, Ice Golem to freeze up the air defense, freeze up everything. I kind of try to angle my healers away from the air defense. And this is something you always have to be aware of, is where you drop your healers. Now, unfortunately, the Logger gets a shot on my healer, so I use a totem to make sure he doesn't do it again. And I get the Logger. So this is really, really good value for the Queen charge. So now I drop my Warden, getting ready for the Fireball. And I'm going to recall my Queen just about now. I want to get that Ricochet Cannon. Unfortunately, I think that Jelly wore off at just a second before, so I don't get that. But the funnel has already been set. I launch my Fireball. I think I could have gone for a deeper one in hindsight, right? I think I could have maybe get that Builder Hut to get a deeper Fireball, but whatever. I got what I wanted. And here I make a mistake. I deploy my Queen on the top side. And the top side is deceptively, has a lot of damage. You'll see in a moment. But the multi-gear tower is going to absolutely destroy my Queen and force me to use a lot of spells to protect her, which will be the downfall of this attack. So I'm just watching my Queen right now. She's taking so much damage. That multi-gear tower is so underrated. And now it's shooting my healers, so it's not great, but I still want to continue charging because it'll take damage off my Warden, right? Because if I recall my Queen, then the Warden has to deal with that, and the Warden can't really deal with that either. So, okay, yeah, here I lose my Queen. Which is really not good. If you lose your Queen or your Warden in this attack, it's really hard to triple. So I think my Warden is screwed because, I used all my spells on my Queen, didn't have any left for the Warden, so now I'm just in recovery mode. Log launcher for the Town Hall. Inside I have a Valkyrie and a Yeti, so I know that the Town Hall is secured with the Logger down. So I put my Queen on the left side along with the Dragon Duke just to get as much percentage as possible. And yeah, I think, we unfortunately, I don't think the plan was the best. I think that Revenge Tower would have been an issue regardless of what I did. So I'd probably approach this base a different way if I were to attack it next time. But yeah, we still get pretty high percentage. I think it ends up being like a 95, 96%. Yeah. Let's go on to the next attack. Okay, we're on to base 4 and a double rage base. I immediately noticed that I want to fireball the clan castle. Anytime you can get a clean fireball on the clan castle is a good idea. So I'm just deciding like which building, right? Do I want to fireball the monolith? Do I want to fireball the fire spitter, the multi-gear? Like what exact building am I looking for? But first things first, I do the queen charge to set up a flame flinger. So queen charge, all I want is the expo and the queen so that my flame flinger is safe, and my flame flinger should get the rest of the rage compartment for me. Flame flinger down, queen is working. And yeah, like this is why I love the Frozen Era, Monolith Era. You can do things like this. So then I wanted my queen to get that revenge tower, because anytime you get a revenge tower is a good idea, especially when the revenge tower is still in its baby version. Now I use my super minion here to try to funnel my queen inside, because I know the jelly is going to run out pretty soon, because I queen walked for a pretty long time on the bottom side. Now unfortunately, due to this angle, I noticed the queen's going to go down. And I decided to let her go down because I didn't want to try to, risk an invisibility spell to redirect her. It's kind of dangerous. I'd rather save my invisibility spells. So I just go ahead and recall. And now I think it's time for the fireball, right? This is the next stage of the attack, is to go for the fireball. So I do invis, fireball onto the fire spitter, get the clan castle. And warden should be going to the bottom to the right, which leaves a clean funnel for the queen to walk on the left side, upward. Now, the revenge tower is still up, right? We missed it on our queen charge earlier, so I decide to use my Dragon Duke Flame Blower for it. So here I'm just waiting, making sure the warden is safe, letting it develop, letting the flame flinger develop. And that's the thing for this attack, right? You have to be patient. The more patient you are, typically the better the result ends up being. And so I'm using a super minion up top to prepare my Dragon Duke for the flame blower. Drop my queen, start my queen. We have a minute left. Don't worry, it's plenty of time. I know we're only at 50%, but it's plenty of time. Now Dragon Duke, and then I use an invis to redirect him onto that revenge tower, and that's something you can do. I get the revenge tower and I put my king along with my queen on the left side to tank for her. And hopefully those two heroes will deal with the entire left side, and my queen and my warden and my Dragon Duke will work together to secure the core. Poison the long shot. Use my king ability any second now. There we go. And yeah, it ends up being a pretty comfortable triple. Everything converges onto the town hall. Okay, let's go to the next hit. On this base, the first thing I notice is that rage core in the middle. I want to get a fireball there, right? That's the best fireball value you can get. So the first thing I do, obviously, is to set up the flame flinger. And I noticed that on the left side, it's only the archer tower that's defending flame flinger. So I put a couple balloons to take out the archer tower, and then I put my flame flinger behind. And here I decide to queen charge this area just to set up my fireball later on, right? Because all of these buildings need to go before I can get a fireball onto that rage compartment. So queen's going to work down here. It's a relatively easy queen walk, right? We're not trying to get a ton of value. We just want to clear out these defenses to set up the fireball. I think as soon as she takes damage from the monolith, I recall her. There we go. Recall. And here I decide to drop my queen on the right side. Okay, Ice Golem, queen on the right side. And we're just getting free buildings, right? We're not really looking for anything in particular. We're just looking to get free value with our queen. So here, the jelly ran off, so she's just clearing the trash buildings, which is perfectly fine. She'll get that Expo, that Tesla, the multi-archer tower. And look at this funnel for the fireball, right? You can already see that the funnel for the fireball is being set. Okay. Queen gets the multi-archer tower. And I will recall the queen soon. I think after the ricochet cannon. Nope, I don't get it because I was scared of the lava launcher. And now I do invis, fireball. Boom, the core is gone. And redeploy the queen on the left side. And I think what I do here is I Dragon Duke to trigger the invis. So that's something that you can always do with this army is you can use the jetpack to trigger the invisibility tower. So you don't have to be afraid of invis towers. King and queen for the town hall compartment. I totem the logger. And yeah, same thing as from the earlier attack, my Dragon Duke and my Warden are working together. They're pretty fast when they're both together. And my king and queen for the town hall compartment. And yeah, another pretty comfortable triple. I think the key to this attack was definitely getting the fireball right and how I used my queen to set up both sides of the fireball funnel. Speed through the rest of the attack, and we get a triple. Okay, next base. So this base is interesting because the defender is using a flame spinner, which, maybe he wants to defend both ground and air, but I think it's a very weak crafted defense. But I think on this base, a lot of people would fireball the Rage Tower, right? Either the left one or the right one. But what I notice is that if I can fireball the Revenge Tower, I can get the Clan Castle. And so what I do here is super minions to set up the Flame Flinger. And then I want a Queen Charge just to get rid of some defenses like we did in the last attack to set up the Fireball. So I'm going to send my Queen into the logger, take him out and some defenses and prepare a nice juicy Fireball. Now, one tip I would have is to send an Ice Golem before the Queen. Right, you want the Ice Golem effect to pop before you drop your Queen and your healers, because otherwise the logger will knock on your healers, right? So here I Queen Charge the logger very comfortably. I think I also get the Dragon Duke and the Builder Hut before I recall. Now this ended up being pretty close. My Queen is at 1 HP, which is pretty scary, but it's fine. And now we're using the Queen on the left side to clear out some buildings. Again, to funnel for the Fireball. Okay. I think I recall her after I get the Ricochet Cannon. So yeah, I think the tip here is like you can use your Queen to set up your Fireball. So we're going. And as soon as the Queen gets that Collector, I will recall her. And now is a perfect time to Fireball. Now, a tip I have is when you're fireballing, you always want to anchor the Warden onto a building. So as you can see, I anchored my Warden onto that gold storage. If I didn't do that, then he would, walk inside of the base and die. So that's a tip I have for you is to make sure your Warden is hitting like a high HP building before you fireball. Now I Dragon Duke the Monolith, use my super minions, and I put my King and Queen on the right side. And yeah, Warden ends up walking left, Dragon Duke walks right, King and Queen on the left, on the right side. I'm perfectly fine with that. Everything is kind of converging. The Flame Flinger Yetis are doing an excellent job clearing out that rage compartment. And yeah, I think I used my spiky ball here to get the rest of the percentage. Town hall is already low. And yeah, we get another 3-star. All right, second to last base. This is an invisibility and a rage base. So on this base, I look at it and I decide I want to fireball that top ricochet cannon to get the clan castle. Anytime you can get the clan castle with your fireball is usually a good idea, right? But before we get to that, first things first, we want a Queen Charge to set up a Flame Flinger. And so here I was debating whether to go from the right side or the bottom side. I decide to do my flame flinger on the bottom side. And so it's exactly what I do. I recall her pretty early because, again, I want to preserve the angry jelly. It's such an important part of the queen's kit, and you usually want to preserve the jelly when you can. And so queen's going to go in and clear out this little compartment. I put a wizard behind to clean up and super minions just to make sure she goes upward. And yeah, essentially we're picking up free value with the queen, right? She's just picking up trash buildings, picking up a corner of the side. And this is how you 3-star with this army. You just keep on picking up these random buildings and you won't time fail. And so here I'm just waiting to recall the queen. I'm letting her hit the storage in the hero hall, right? These are very high HP buildings that'll take forever for other troops to kill. But with the monolith arrow, she can get them down really quickly. And so queen is about to be done any second. As soon as the healers get in range of the air defense, I'm going to recall her. There we go. I think I ended up losing a healer, but that's all right. We already got tons of value. And now look at that. We have a perfect angle for the fireball onto that ricochet cannon. So I take out the clan castle, take out everything. So now the next thing I'm thinking about is, where do I want a flame blower? And right away I see that the Revenge Tower is a very clear target for the Dragon Duke ability, but what I need to do first is I need to clear out those buildings, right? And so I use super minions to clear out the buildings so I can launch my flame blower from that elixir storage. I activate the invisibility tower, and yeah, I put my king and queen on the left side to take out the monolith compartment. Dragon Duke will go for the town hall. I have a couple super minions behind just in case. And yeah, I think that's kind of the beauty of this attack, right? You put, your heroes on opposite sides of the map, just enough to where you have enough DPS and HP to take everything out. And yeah, this will be a pretty clean triple as well. I have 3 invisibility spells, a poison, a totem. I probably could have swagged some spells, but I think we invis there and end on the town hall with 30 seconds to spare. All right, final attack of the day. Wow, it's so hot where I am, so my voice is kind of dying. But okay, on this base, I want to fireball the expo, the bottom expo, to get the Revenge Tower and a bit of the Rage compartment. Just because that's the hardest thing to deal with, right? If it was the old Flame Blower, I think I would have Flame Blowered the Revenge Tower, but with the Flame Blower rework, that won't work. So again, Queen Charge to set up a Flame Flinger. This is like a pretty common theme with this army. Anytime you can set up a Flame Flinger, you want to do so. So here, okay, I do that. I want to take out the Queen before I recall. I think I get a bit greedy on this attack because I'm just like, okay, how much value can I get, right? Let's just keep on charging. And I ended up losing a ton of HP on my Queen. I think she goes down to like 1 HP. Now, this is not good, right? Because she still has the jelly effect on. So wherever I drop her, she could just run in and die. So I have to be really careful about where I drop her. So I'm thinking like, maybe I drop her at the top, maybe on the left side. I don't know where to drop her. I think I settle on the left side because it has less damage. So, and I drop my Queen. Again, when you drop your Queen, you want to drop her as far in the corner as possible so that she has the most amount of time to recover HP. And so here we're Queen charging this left side. We're basically doing the mirrored version of what we did on the right side, but this time with no jelly, right? We're letting the Queen work. Maybe she'll trigger the Rage Tower, maybe not. And yeah, we have a second recall, so whenever she's in danger, we can just scoop her up. I think after the scatter shot I call it quits. Yep, there we go. And now we fireball. Invis, earthquake, fireball, get the Revenge Tower. Yeah, and now the Warden is pretty much completely safe down here. And so redeploy the Queen on the left side. I think I tried to Dragon Duke the Monolith, but I realized that the angle is kind of funny and a Tesla pops up, right? So I think I just kind of wait on the ability until I can find a good angle. I ended up getting a pretty good flamethrower. I got a super wizard tower and a ricochet cannon. And unfortunately, I lose my queen here. I was a bit late on the invisibility, and so maybe it kind of gets a bit close because of that. But yeah, Warden and Dragon Duke on the bottom, King on the top, super minions on the right, spiky ball, and everything kind of converges onto the core. Yeah, we just fast forward. I think it ends up being pretty close on time, and that's because I lost my queen, right? If I had my queen, I think it would be more crushed, but I end up with, I think, 1 second left. And so, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions.